Good weekend, everyone. I hope you're all doing amazing this weekend. Welcome back. Holy moly, there is a ton of stuff going on in the Upland Metaverse. We've got the launch of cars. The first car is actually in the Metaverse. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. It's parked right out front of Santa Clara's Metaverse M Motors shop. It's there. You can see it. How cool. Along with that, there was obviously the launch of Vegas. We had the stress test on Tuesday. We had the full release just yesterday on Friday. There's just so much going on. On top of that, international terminals being announced. We've got Rio de Janeiro in the works. There is so much happening. Hey there, John Henry here, SSFTG. Welcome to the video. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome, my friend. I hope to earn your like and subscription today. Welcome to the Weekend Upland Report, where we take a bit of time to discuss what's going on in the Upland Metaverse, but from more of a technical perspective, to see what's going on in the UpX side of the economy and how that's all doing. And on that note, how is the UpX economy doing? How about each market sector? Going neighborhood by neighborhood and seeing how are the collections doing? How are the prices? How about spark values and housing and structures? By the way, you might want to stick around for that one because those prices went absolutely bonkers. We're just kind of taking a look at what's going on in the metaverse as a whole, and these are the types of things that can be the difference between success and failure. If you're not in Upland yet, we've got Vegas that just launched this past weekend. It's on a modified release schedule, so it's going to be releasing over a period of time. We had the announcement of international terminals. There's cars coming. Rio de Janeiro in the works. Now is the time to get involved. That's for sure. I know I say it every time, but it just keeps getting better and better. That should be a big enough clue. Swing over to discover.upland.me/SSFTG or click the promo link in the description. I'll get it down there for you too. Now, by clicking on the promo link, it gets you into the UpX Metaverse with 6,000 starting UpX to get going, and along with that, if you decide to invest some cash into the game, you get a monster 50% bonus to your first UpX purchase with a cap of 50,000 UpX. You definitely don't want to miss that. So let's swing over and take a look at what's going on in the Upland Metaverse, shall we? But of course, before we do, make sure to swing over to ssftg.live/merch and check out some of the wicked stuff that we've got available. We had a one-of-one duffel bag, but someone snapped that up, almost gone immediately. So congrats to whoever got that one-of-one. That was the only one that's going to be sold, and that bad boy's gone already. So cool, some of the merch that's coming out of here. And what's amazing is 50% of all of the profit that we generate from this goes towards our chosen autism research foundation of the month. And I had a little bit of a Freudian slip there because that kind of gave away what our organization is for this month. For the month of June, we are focusing on the Organization of Autism Research, or OAR, which is an absolutely incredible cause. Highly recommend that you do a bit more research on them if you haven't already. Make sure, swing over, grab some merch, look amazing, and support an incredible cause. On that topic as well, make sure to swing over to Twitter and check it out. @SlingshotFuture is the SSFTG main page. I'm getting a bit more active on there again with everything going on in the Upland Metaverse. Makes it a little bit easier to tweet out little ideas and concepts and things along the way. But that's also where we shared this incredible little tidbit, and this was from our Autism Speaks Foundation. That was our chosen foundation for last month. And we finally had the payment come out through OBS and Streamlabs, and we were able to get that donation in. So our first donation is in and already locked and loaded. Absolutely incredible. Our very first donation, all fueled by the metaverse. Okay, it's time. Here we go. Okay. Now, the news over Genesis Week is, it's absurd. There's no other way to put it. We would need an entire news crew team to follow this thing around on site, online, in the metaverse, like everywhere, just to be able to keep up with everything that's going on. It's going to take weeks to decompress everything that came out. Absolutely insane amount of information. Now, because of the amount of info that came out, instead of covering every single little nuance, because honestly, I haven't had the time to go through and go into all of this stuff in depth and see what's going on. I feel like I've only scratched the surface and I still need to sink my teeth in. So what I'm going to be covering here are all of the major things that I found of interest, all of the notable topics that have been floating around in Discord chats and all of that. So that way we can kind of have a little bit more of a pulse on the social economic side of things. Now be sure, if I missed anything, drop it in the comments. We got to fill everybody in, so get them in the comments here and that will get in so that everybody knows what's going on. But first off, the Vegas stress test. Right, the Vegas stress test launched with Winchester, and you'll notice I actually don't have any properties in Winchester anymore. I kind of talked about that already. But Winchester was the first release, and honestly, I didn't have any issues. It went really, really well. One of the best, and I think we've said this every time along the way, which really, bravo to the Upland team. They continue to get better and better and better. And they did this one, not Winchester, but the Vegas launch live, and that went just as flawlessly. I didn't have any issues whatsoever. The spinning wheels were marginal, and after a quick reload, they were gone. And even then, I think I could maybe only count like 3 or 4 that I actually had. For me personally, I wasn't able to get a lot of the stuff that I wanted, and it was, oh man, it was really unfortunate. Let me see if I can find the Discord picture really quick. Here's the screenshot I posted. As you can see here, Fremont Street, I had worked so hard to get my Block Explorer pointed right at Fremont Street. It took like 20 cents and like 10-15 minutes to get it landed properly. As you can see by my trail, it was perfect. That screenshot right there was taken at the time that the launch was supposed to happen. But guess what? There was a 30-minute delay that pushed it back. All right, I'm not going to lie. I was really upset about that one. That was incredibly frustrating because of the amount of time that I focused on trying to get in that area. I landed it perfectly. The Block Explorer drifted there perfectly. Everything was fabulous. And then there was a delay. So after I threw a little bit of a fit, had my little bit of a temper tantrum, we have to realize that that's life, and we've got to go through it. And if we're not going to get left behind, we got to keep on pushing. Now you'll notice personally, I landed on about 21 properties the last time I counted that I don't have for sale yet, and they've been spread out across the board, my typical buckshot method, if you will. Now I do have a couple extras in a few zones of interest. There are a few different racetracks and things of different nodes and all of that, but you'll notice the middle area, I don't really have a whole lot in that zone, and that's because a lot of the areas that I was trying to get was in Fremont, and after I realized that I wasn't going to get that, I jumped very quickly over into the arts district and downtown. Now, originally, I was actually able to mint. Whoop, that's not the one that I wanted. Where did it go? I was able to mint the. Where did my drawing tool go? Hang on a second. Let me load this back up again. There we go. I minted this one, and I believe it was either this one or it was that one. I honestly don't remember which one, but I got 3 right on the edge, on the outside looking into the arts district. I couldn't get anything minted down in the arts district, but I was able to get those. I flipped all of those for 300%, 200 to 300% ROI on each of them, and I used the profits that I generated from that to buy a property in the arts district for $89,000. Not gonna lie though, it wasn't moving. Nobody was buying it. The hype was real. I could see them kind of jumping around, but nobody was biting. And I was missing some serious opportunities because of that. So I axed that one in for a quick little 20%, called it a day. Obviously, if I held, I could have made a lot more, but I think the 20% that we made in getting the UPX back was definitely worth it because we were able to utilize it in other areas instead. The 21 properties that I do have on hold are going to be waiting for the collections for next week, and we'll kind of see how that turns out from there. I tried to stay as cheap as possible in every single area to ensure that the buckshot was as effective as possible, although there were a few in there that I definitely picked up because they were just cool. Now, on the note of nodes, because I know that I'm going to get that question, and I've already been getting that question plenty of times in the YouTube comments and Discord and all over the place. Is the Wood Hood going to Vegas? No, we're not going to Vegas. Like I said in the initial launch of the Wood Hood, I don't have any plans on expanding outside of Detroit for now. That is going to be our permanent primary HQ. That's where everything started. That's where it's going to stay. And if there are anything that happens outside of that, I would let you guys know way ahead of time, so you've got more than enough time to get involved. The primary HQ isn't going to change, and I mean, let's be real here. There is plenty of stuff going on in Detroit, let alone trying to spread thin over into the Vegas side. It just doesn't make any sense from that side of things. The efforts on Phase 2 have been going incredibly well, but they're just in the beginning phases. It's just getting started. And, of course, in the immortal words of the Doc, we're at the tippity top of the mountain, but we're only halfway up. The first cars are already in Upland, and hey, wait a minute, what is this little gray dot right there? What is this little thing here? Hey, check that out. Boy, is it a lot easier to find the shop now, huh? It's got the little gray dot on there, and check this out. When you click on it, oh baby, 1 hour and 45 minutes until the Series 1's are minted. We've got cars in production. Holy moly, that should get your pumps going, your blood pumping. Words, I get excited. What can I say? But guess what? There's the first car's already here. Can you see it? Can you see it? Oh, my finger disappeared. Can you see it? It's right there. Let's go. Let's zoom in. There it is. Oh, baby. There it is. Look at the breadline. Hang on. Oh, and look at the graphics on this thing. It's actually like the rendering. I mean, oh man, I am excited about this. And the first car is in the game already. Holy smokes, this is exciting. The hackathon finalists were also announced. So first off, congratulations to all of the winners. It's so amazing to see the community coming together to nominate all of these incredible influencers and creators and developers and give them the recognition that they deserve. So big round of applause to all of them. And great work to some of these upcoming projects too. Holy moly, some of these upcoming projects, if you haven't watched some of the coverage on Vegas, go back through and watch some of that, because some of the developments and things that people are talking about, man, they really get me pumped. Like zombie games and stuff. Oh man, don't even get me started. Before we jump off down the rabbit hole here, let's switch gears over into the market analytics side of things and get to the meat and potatoes here. First off, last week, and I say last week sparingly because there's been a lot of voids in the video schedule with Vegas and real life stuff going on with the kids in summer. That definitely takes a lot of extra time. Makes recording a bit difficult, that's for sure. Jeez, oh Pete's. But last week, relatively speaking, it was at 2.078 billion. This week it's at 1.478 billion. That's a decrease of 28.87%. Again, we've talked about the decrease and with the Vegas launch and everything else, but in the midst of Vegas launch, we also had the international terminal launch. So the hype in terms of like people pumping money into Vegas, yeah, they're going to be around the big strips and the big landmarks and all of that. But honestly, I think that announcement alone kind of had people pull back a little bit and say, well, wait a minute. We've got cars. We've seen some of the prices of these race cars ranging in the 800,000 UPIX range, 400,000 UPIX for some of the others. Granted, those are the early editions, and we don't know what the pricing models look like going forward, or at least I don't yet. If I missed it, again, drop anything that I missed in the comments. But that's something that we really need to kind of keep in mind, where it almost feels like, whoa, wait a minute. Now, Vegas is a good investment to get in at the mint and to get stuff invested as far as cash flow goes, but there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe yet. Now, I know on the Upland side of things, I don't talk about this too much. Obviously, the other side of SSFTG is trading. That's the whole backbone of what SSFTG is and does, is going into investments and trading. And, well, Metaverse obviously makes up a big part of that. But along with that, looking at some of the different charts and everything. If you've got more interest on the trading side of things, head over to SSFTG. We've got the Day Trading Academy with over 20 hours of video course material to get you going. Now, as far as the broader market, I mean, it really doesn't matter what market you pick. I mean, I've got Bitcoin open right now on a daily chart, but you can pick up ADA, Cardano, EOS, Ethereum. You can look at Ford or Amazon. You can pick a stock. It doesn't matter. Everything's down. It's getting beat up and wailed on. The markets are in a pullback, and there are, people that are afraid of what's going on. And that brings me to my point of Upland, and why I love Upland so much is because it's UPIX, it's in-game currency. It's not a cryptocurrency, so to speak. Yes, it's on the EOS blockchain. Yes, it's traceable. Yes, it's trackable. It is a blockchain game after all. But what I mean by not a cryptocurrency is in the sense of an openly traded on an exchange currency. The reason why that's such an incredible benefit is because guess what? While Bitcoin's down 60% right now, my UPIX value still equals 1,000 to $1. That hasn't changed. Nothing has changed about it. That's why I love it so much. If we were to compare this to other metaverses like, Sandbox or, Decentraland or some of these others where their base currency is based off of an actual cryptocurrency that's tradable on public exchanges, well, when they get smashed, when you look at Sand and you look at what happened to it, I mean, this is the thing, right? If you bought land with Sand, your land value's down 88%. While my Upland land is down 0. It's actually up because it's earning on average 17% based on my collection perks and bonuses. So again, if you're not in Upland, make sure to click the link, because this is one of the best ways that you can get into the metaverse without having an open exposure to the external markets that are, well, as you can see, they can be incredibly dangerous at times. Granted, it's really nice when they're ripping 100, 200, 300%. Then it's great. That's a double-edged sword. But looking back at what's going on the market analytics side of things, on the housing side, we've got new properties that are available because of Vegas. But remember, it's a modified release, and there was only about 30,000 some properties still left available to mint last I checked. If we look at the overall last week's unminted properties, that was standing at 538,598. And this week it's at 520,931 after Vegas. So after Vegas has come out, it's still a decrease of 3.28% in terms of the overall properties available. That's nuts. And then we can finally jump over into the analysis side of things from the neighborhood to neighborhood, city by city perspective, and taking a look at some of the collections as well. First off is going to be Bakersfield. Bakersfield last time around was sitting at 9,000, this time 9,800. Nice increase of 8.89%. We have the USD floor going from 7.99 to 8, so marginal increase, just a penny, with the arbitrage value between the two of 1,710. From a collections perspective side of things, though, we do have some decent moves going on the USD floor. Like, everybody's asleep. I don't know what's going on over there. I did double check them, just not moving from the last numbers that I have. But looking at the UPX side of things, we have a nice 15%, well, nice if you're looking for a discount at least, 15% discount in downtown. And on the upside of things, historic Bakersfield going up 100% from 2.5 million to 5 million UPX. Big old lift on that end. Over on the East Coast with Bronx first up, the UPX floor going from 12,000 to 12,200. Nice little increase of 1.67% there. The USD floor going from $12.18 to $11, though, catching a bit of a dip, down 9.69%. On the collection side of things, we've got some decent moves going on, the largest loser being the base collection in Bronx. However, Throg's Neck has a nice little 8.7% increase, and that's the largest. Everything else is kind of calm and quiet, although there is a 9% decrease in Riverdale as well, kind of squeaking under the radar. On the UPX side of things, we've got a 4% increase, which is the largest gainer in Belmont. Not a whole lot going on there. Largest loss is only 2% in Mott Haven. It seems like everybody's attention is likely on Vegas. Heading a little bit south into the Brooklyn end of things here, the USD and UPX floor, the UPX side of things going from 10,249 to 99.80. That is a decrease of 2.62%. The USD floor going from 8 to 888, though, increasing 11%. The arbitrage value between the two being 1,045. On the collection side, the largest gainer for USD is actually the base collection of Brooklyn, up 11%. The largest loser is down 26.67% in Dumbo. Nice little pullback there if Dumbo is one of your things. On the UPX side of things, we've got the largest pullback is only 2%, which is kind of nice, and that's in the base collection of Brooklyn. Brooklyn really doesn't pull back usually too much. However, the largest gainer is in Dumbo on the UPX side of things, going up 69.49%. Likely what we're seeing here is the UPX floor was bought out, and the next one available is sitting at $1 million. That jumped up very quickly. And then you know what time it is. It's my favorite time. It's time to head off into Chicago. We're back again. In Chicago overall, well, it's doing okay. I mean, here's the thing. On a lot of these East Coast types of things, or really anything that's not Vegas, people aren't paying too much attention anymore. They dumpstered their properties out of those areas to get liquid. Now they dump their liquidity into Vegas. All eyes on Vegas. Doesn't mean that these areas are bad. There are actually some incredible movers here. Actually, this one is a mistype there. Let me get that. There we go. As far as the overall moves, though, the floor going from 6,000 to 6,190, increasing 3.17%. The USD floor unchanged at $4.60, with arbitrage sitting at 1,511. From the collections perspective side of things, we've got a 16% increase on the USD floor in West Division. That's awesome. I like seeing that, considering we just picked up that church there when we had our family trip over there too. We've got that 45% decrease in Gold Coast. Heavy pullback there if you're looking for a nice little dip on the Gold Coast exclusive collection. It's half off right now, basically. On the UPX side of things, we've got a 24% increase in South Shore. Definitely missed my opportunity to pick that one up. And along with the Gold Coast exclusive USD collection going down, we also have the UPX floor decreasing 20.83%. Over on the Cleveland side of things, we've got, well, another case of East Coast-itis. We'll get into that in a second here. But 8,700 is the UPX floor from last week to 8,530 this week, decreasing 1.95%. The USD floor unchanged at 7%. And we have the arbitrage sitting at 1,454. The collection end of things is what is it's catching a little bit of East Coast-itis. We got it flat across the board, which is the largest loss. That's always nice to see. The largest gainer, 20%, which is apparently the only thing moving in Cuyahoga Valley in the exclusive collection there. On the Upix end, we've got a 12% decrease in Ohio City and a 25% increase in Euclid Ave, catching some decent moves maybe on the Upix side, but USD pretty unchanged. Over in the Detroit side of things here, we've got the Upix and USD floor, which is a complete sleeper. Again, a little bit of East Coast-itis here, I think. The Upix floor increasing 0.05% and the USD floor unchanged at 0. The arbitrage value approaching demonic at 665. Just one away. There is a Hell, Michigan. If you haven't seen it yet, it's the northeast in Michigan here. You can actually literally watch Hell freeze over here in Michigan. I hate the cold. Anyway, the Detroit collection, that side of things is a little bit different here. We've got the USD floor dipping 15% in Springwells and a ripper of an increase in Midtown, 59.25% on that collection. Of course, in the Woodhood, Sherwood Forest, we've got a 42 from 48. That is a decrease of 12.5%, but I will admit, that's my fault. Again, I am rotating through some of the older inventory to try to lift the floor there, and it is going well, but some of these cheaper prices aren't going to stick around for much longer, and the floor on the Upix side is already up 10.98% and still kind of rising there too. That said, the Upix floor, we've got a 7% decrease in Springwells and a 21% increase over in the Chicago Boulevard Rare Collection. Swinging back over to the West Coast side of things, and the West Coast is where there's going to be a lot more action. If you have properties on the West Coast, whether it's Vegas or Los Angeles or really anything on the west end of things, that's usually how people scan, are using the coasts. And this is one of the ways, and well, keep an eye on that because the West Coast stuff can be kind of interesting. Again, all eyes are going to be on Vegas, but the Fresno floor going from $98.99 to $94.99 is still a decrease of 4.04%. Possible little discount there, the USD floor unchanged at $8. Arbitrage sitting at 1,424, so it's starting to get a little bit decent there. As far as the USD floor and collections, down 30% in Woodward Park. Nice pullback there if you're looking to fill that collection. And holy moly, downtown murals going up 93.85%, absolutely screaming there. But if you thought that was the best gainer, nope. Switch over to the Upix side of things, 21% decrease in the Tower District, and then 152% in Fulton Street, going from 115,000 to 290. On the Kansas City side of things, they are doing very well, even in the base collection, and that's not even the best gainer. 8,004 to 94.99 is an increase of 18.68%. USD floor unchanged, basically. It's up a penny, but the arbitration value sitting at 33.24. Very interesting, as the USD floor must likely catch up to the Upix side of things. That said, on the collection end of things, we've got a 40% gainer in Meadowbrook Heights and a 24% decrease in Southwest Boulevard. On the Upix end of things, 43% increase in Blue Hills and a 16% decrease in Plaza Westport. I do have a space for Las Vegas, but we don't have any Las Vegas data yet, so the only thing that I really have to go with is the fact that there's a $17 floor that exists, and there is also an 11,200 Upix floor. Now, in the Discord chat, which, by the way, if you're not in yet, make sure to swing down into the description and get in the Discord chat. It's not just for Woodhood members. It is open to the public, although if you do own property in the Woodhood, make sure to let me know so I can upgrade your account. But in the Woodhood area, we were talking about the different floors and talking about them moving along here, and, well, it's just going to take a little bit of time. Currently, the arbitration value and all the cheap properties are still being flipped once things come into a little bit of parity. It wouldn't be a surprise at all to see the majority of the Las Vegas floor floating around probably closer to 15 to 20,000. The lowest available mints at the moment are around 14 to 15,000, and that's going up relatively quickly, but it is kind of an expensive mint, and like we saw with some of the others like Kansas City and Nashville and all of those that are on the expensive side, it takes a bit more time for those to phase out. Los Angeles is next up on the list, the Upix floor going from $74.47 to $74.99, increasing 0.7% there. USD floor $588 to $587, decreasing 0.17%, with the arbitrage sitting at $1,548. On the collection spectrum for the USD side of things, the largest gainer 59% in Mulholland Drive and the largest loser 28% in Hollywood Lifestyles. On the Upix floor, we've got relatively similar areas, 59% down in the Gregorius Angelino, and following along with Hollywood Lifestyles on the inverse side of things, up 69% there on that ultra rare collection end. Seems like a lot of arbitrage going on down there. Swinging over into the Manhattan neck of the woods here, we did have a bit of a pullback as we went into the Vegas launch, and that makes a lot of sense. When people are looking to get out and get liquid, what better place than to do it than one of the most obvious places in the world. I was going to say the US, but everybody knows what Manhattan is, right? I mean, geez, oh Pete's. So when people are looking to get liquid, this is usually one of the first ones to go, along with Rutherford and Santa Clara and all of the big names in those. Now, that said, we have had a little bit of a rebound, but the largest gainer on the floor price, at least as far as collections, are 0%. We do have some really, really decent moves to the upside, though, on the UPX floor, going from 89,000 to 100,000, bouncing up 12.36%. USD floor is still sitting at 79 with the arbitrage at 19,950. Now, I already talked about how the USD floor, the largest gainer, is just unchanged at 0. The largest loser, however, is Harlem, down 7%, which is also the floor price at 79. So there's a limited collection that's also the floor price of the regular. Kind of interesting there. As far as UPX is concerned, boy howdy, we had a heck of a move here. Big pullback on the Upper East Side to 99,000, ripped all the way back up to 184,900. That's up 86.77%. Again, when people are looking to get liquid, that's the first thing to go, right? As far as the largest losers, down 18% in Chinatown. Big pullback there from that perspective. On the Nashville end of things, oh man, this one's getting beat up a little bit here. Now, the UPX floor going from $89.99 to $84.50, pulling back 6.1%. Not that big of a deal, but the USD floor going from $6.99 to $5.97 is almost a 15% decrease. Very, very nice pullback here over in the Nashville side of things in terms of value. That also kicks the arbitration up to $2,356. Nice little disparity in between the two. From a collections perspective, up 29% on the USD floor in the Woodland Street side of things, and down 34% in the 12th Ave Rare collection. On UPX side of things, the largest gainer is only 4%, but Nashville is, like we've already seen, getting beat up here. That one is in Madison, which, honestly, there have been some really, really good deals in that area. And then also a 20% discount in Fatherland on that side of things in the exclusive collections. New Orleans next up on the list, the UPX floor going from 8,800 to 9,900. Very nice increase, 12.5% there, but the USD floor getting dinged on the other end, $7 to $5.95. Now this creates a very interesting disparity with a 15% decrease in the USD floor, but a 12% increase in the UPX floor. That gives us a phenomenal arbitration of $3,753. Now that I'm talking about it, I probably won't stick around for very long, but it is a very, very nice opportunity while it's there. As far as the collection side of things, once again, the largest gainer is just unchanged at 0. Always kind of disappointing there, but it's New Orleans, and usually when it's going to pull back, that's kind of how it operates, and it's kind of in the middle. It's not quite West Coast, it's not quite East Coast, it's sort of in the middle there. Maybe a little bit of East Coast-itis? Kind of, sort of. Either way. The largest decrease are 22% in Mid-City. On the UPX side of things, largest gainer is, again, the base collection at 12.5%, with the largest loser in the lower ninth down 17.2%. On the Oakland end of things, another one that's getting dinged here. On the UPX floor, 11,200 to 995, nice increase, 7.1%. On the USD floor, 875 to 755, though 3.71%. Another one, look at this, right? 4,200 UPX arbitrage between the two is just bonkers. What a beautiful place to look for these flips. Now, as far as the collections are concerned, a little bit of a bummer there. The largest gainer is only 0.96% in Broadway. The largest loser is 30% in historical Oakland. However, on the UPX side of things, up 66% in Broadway, so a little bit of a follow along there, I suppose, and down 17% in Gibbons Drive Rare collection. Back on the East Coast over in Queens, we've got the UPX floor going from 5,000 to 5,000 and 398 to 399. Nobody's paying attention to Queens anymore, I guess. Everybody moved over to the West Coast. Arbitration still hovering around 1,000 and 960, but certainly not the best. As far as collections are concerned, we have a 10% decrease in the USD Kew Gardens and 31% increase in the Beach Channel Drive, which is phenomenal because I am in that one. I gotta love that. On the UPX side of things, down 10% in Douglaston and up 28% in Astoria Boulevard. Now, wait just a minute here. Is that what I think it is? Is that a blue dot? Did John finally get one in Rutherford? If I did, I finally did. And I picked it up at a pretty good price as well. I got it at the $37 price, which is where I picked it up at. However, the UPX floor going from 53,000 to 50,000, seeing a bit of a pullback here, down 5.66%. The USD floor, which is always nice because that's what I bought it at, is up 8.11% with the arbitrage, I was corrected on that. And there's a big difference between those two words. The arbitrage arbitrage sitting at 9,500. As far as the collections, completely unchanged across the board. On the West Coast, once again, we're jumping all over the place here. San Francisco's next up with the UPX floor going from $29,999 to $30,800. Nice little increase there, 2.67%. USD floor, $24 to $23.98 marginal, down 0.08%. Arbitrage, got to break the habit. Arbitrage currently sitting at $6,479. As far as the collections are concerned on the USD side, 19.9% increase in Sunset, doing beautiful over there. And as far as the decrease, 18.28% in Seacliff. On the UPX side of things, the largest loser is 0, which is always really nice to see, and the largest gainer is a 22% increase over there in the limited Russian Hills collection. Over in Santa Clara, along with its fancy gray dot that it's got going on there, we had the floor go from $30,000 to $35,468, which is a whopper of an increase, 18.23%. Santa Clara is one of the most consistent markets that I've ever seen in my life. A lot of treasure hunters use it as an area to treasure hunt in, which is why it maintains its incredible value. Just absolutely beautiful area to be buying into. As far as USD floor, 25 to 25, nobody really wants to sell Santa Clara, so the arbitrage still stands 9,945, almost into 10,000. On the El Camino side of things, which is the largest gainer on the USD floor, 15.38%. The largest loser is 0, with another gainer floating in there in the North 101 at 12.9%, something to pay attention to. On the UPX side of things, up 21%, speaking of paying attention to. On the North 101, that's up 21.3%, and a 14% decrease over there in El Camino as they flip-flop. And speaking of flip-flop, might as well do it on the coasts as well. Let's jump back over to Staten Island, and here we are again. As far as Staten Island, I mean, wow. You want to talk about an increase. 8,000 to 11,200, ripping 40%. USD floor unchanged from 10 to 10, but the arbitrage now down to 1,140, which makes sense because that UPX value jumped up very quick. On the collection side of things, the largest gainer is flat at 0 on the USD side of things. A little bit disappointing there, especially when comparing it to the largest loser, down 55% in the ultra-rare historic Richmond town, now under $1,000. On the UPX side of things, the largest gainer is obviously the base collection, up 40% there, hard to compete with that one. And the largest loss is the rare collection in Richmond Terrace, down 8.02%. Now, looking at the housing values and structures, first off, I wanted to jump over to Sherwood Forest real quick to the Woodhood. Just look how cool this looks. The building in this is absolutely incredible. It's coming along, and it looks amazing. Great work so far, Noodlers. This is incredible. As far as the structure values are concerned, whoa, holy moly, what happened? We've gained some utility, right? What do we have utility for? Well, what do people need structures for? We just had all of these different announcements as far as utility is concerned with different decorations, needing a place to park your vehicle. Yes, you can park on your land as long as you have space for it. All of these different things became like a, oh crap, wait a minute, I'm going to need some of this stuff. And people started gobbling up properties like they were going out of style. And I really hope that you all were paying attention. That small ranch house play, building those up, really paying off, because now that is the highest paying one. Incredible momentum going on there. Before we get into all the structures, though, because there's a lot of movement, last week's collection low on the US dollar side was $21.49, and the UPX was $23,999. This week, we've got a $23 floor, that's up 7%, and a $27,555 UPX floor, that's up 14.8% alone. Looking at the structures and all of that fun stuff, starting off on the small townhouse pitched roof, we've got a 50% increase on the UPX side of things and a 53% increase on the USD side of things. Incredible momentum here. The small townhouse flat roof, we have an increase of 62% on that side of things for UPX, and as far as USD, a 28.49% increase there. On ranch houses, and man, I really hope you all were listening to the ranch house ones, because those are the highest paid ones now that are definitely something to pay attention to. That's currently up 16.83%, and as far as the USD side of things, up 38.89%. And then we go to the medium townhouses, the big chungus. This one's up 12.5% on the UPX side of things, but the USD side of things is up 106.97%. Whoa, what a ripper to the upside. Large luxury ranch houses on the upside up 1.11%, sitting at 50,000. On the large luxury ranch houses for USD up 84.21%. Remember all those cheap $30 ones, $40 ones? Those are gone. Those aren't there anymore. The large luxury modern houses, those are up 144.8%. That's just a little bit of an increase there. As far as the large luxury modern houses on the USD side, that's also up a whopping 60% there. Large apartment buildings are seeing a decrease of 3.89%, which is kind of strange, but that's also because they are so huge and ridiculous and they take a very long time to build that a lot of people just simply didn't want to commit to them unless they had a plan for them, which is why I think we're seeing that being the only one seeing a decrease. However, that being said, the USD floor is not to disappoint. That is up currently 37.5%, going from $80 to $110. As far as the building cost goes, if you're building in Upix, the most profitable is the small ranch house at 21.44, the medium townhouse being the worst at 15.38. And on the USD side of things, the small townhouse flat roof is still king, 0.0188, while the loser is the medium townhouse, 0.01115. All right, whew, man, we finally made it all the way to the end, and that is going to do it for this overall week in review, taking a look at more of the technical side of things and seeing what all is going on in the Upland Metaverse. And man alive, there is plenty going on. Of course, if I missed anything along the way, make sure to drop those in the comments below. We want to make sure that everybody gets filled in on all of the important information, and if I missed it, we got to make sure. So get those in the comments below. Along with that, hopefully you had an incredible time minting in Vegas, and if you have any awesome street views from Vegas, drop those in the comments below. You know I always love seeing those coming in, and we love having those on display for everybody else to enjoy too. If you have any questions or anything else, drop those in the comments. You know I love hearing from you, but until the next one, enjoy your weekend. I hope your Vegas stacks are as thick as ever, and we'll see you in the Metaverse. Thanks.